We are 2 days away from the NFL regular season kicking off with the Bills and the Rams. And with that said, we're going to do some award predictions for the 2022 season, all the way from MVP down to Coach of the Year. And I will give a Super Bowl matchup prediction at the end of the video. So leave in the comments, who do you think will win these awards? Who is your Super Bowl pick this year? And on Wednesday, tomorrow, I'm going to start doing my weekly spread pick show. So week 1 spread picks will be out tomorrow night, hopefully. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. And with all that said, let's get into it. I'm going to say this off the top because I don't know how noticeable this is, but I had a needle in my gums from the dentist before, so it might sound a bit off, but yeah, I'm pretty numb over here. Anyway, so my MVP pick for 2022 is going to be Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Now, Mahomes, of course, won this award back in 2018, his first year as the full-time starter. He was the hot new thing, definitely deserved it. And the thing with MVPs and a lot of these awards, honestly, it's pretty narrative-driven. And if you think about Patrick Mahomes' situation right now, there's not many positive vibes. He lost his wide receiver 1 in Tyreek Hill, and to try and replace his production, they did make some decent moves. If you're very in tune with the NFL, you might look at the Marquez Valdes-Scantling or Juju Smith-Schuster signings as like, oh, that's a pretty good move. But to the casual NFL fan, they're going to be like, oh, Valdes-Scantling dropped everything on the Packers, and Juju Smith-Schuster just makes TikToks. Like, that's going to be like the narrative around those guys. So the offensive narrative is that Tyreek Hill, very good, he's gone, and the 2 guys they brought in to replace him are just, TikTok guy and drop the balls in Green Bay guy. There is also the narrative that the Chiefs defense sucks, and it did suck the first 6-7 weeks, whatever it was, of last year. It did get better in the second half of last season, but I feel like the notion around most NFL fans is that the Chiefs defense is not any good. And there is also the narrative, it's not even a narrative really, that the rest of that division got much better. You look at the Chargers and how much money they spent on defense to get better this offseason, J.C. Jackson and even getting Khalil Mack and Sebastian Joseph Day. The Broncos got Russell freaking Wilson, and the Raiders got Devontae Adams and some other guys. Like, all those teams got much better, and you look at the Chiefs and you're like, oh, they lost Tyreek Hill, so they stink now. But I do think the Chiefs have enough weapons to have Patrick Mahomes still have a really good season with Valdes-Scantling, Juju, Sky Moore, the rookie, of course Travis Kelce, you still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon's a good receiver out of the backfield. So I just think all the narratives are there, and sure, Josh Allen's the favorite, I completely get that. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes, for the 3P, and I could see Aaron Rodgers getting it too because the narrative's there for him that Devontae Adams, his wide receiver 1, is gone, and now his wide receiver 1 is like Allen Lazard. So the narrative is there, but there is always that voter fatigue, and there's that argument that LeBron James should probably win MVP just about every year, and he just doesn't because of voter fatigue. They always want to pick a new guy. So, it's been 4 years for Mahomes. Maybe they go back to him. I could also see like Russell Wilson or Justin Herbert, one of those guys getting it, but my pick's going to be Patrick Mahomes. My pick for Offensive Player of the Year in 2022 is going to be Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson. JJ's entering year 3. He lost out on the Rookie of the Year to Justin Herbert, who emerged that year, of course, with the Chargers. So although Jefferson has a couple of All-Pro nods and well-deserved, he has not won like an official award yet, and this could be the first time. Jefferson saw over 2,000 air yards last year. That led the entire NFL. He put up 108 catches, over 1,600 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. But of course, Cooper Kupp's incredible season overshadowed that. Now, this Vikings offense is expected to be better, expected to pass more, and if he does pick up on some of those air yards that he missed out on last year with more passing volume, Justin Jefferson may have a better year than last year. And he does have enough guys on his team to take attention away. He has Adam Thielen, he has Irv Smith coming back, Dalvin Cook, KJ Osborne. There's a pretty good receiving core over there for the Vikings. So if all things do break right for Jefferson, I could see a season of like 115 catches, 1,700 yards, and like 12 touchdowns. And hopefully that would be enough to get Offensive Player of the Year. A couple of other guys I like for this are Derrick Henry, who I think is going to bounce back and have a great year, and Devontae Adams, new team. He might get some votes if he's really good this year, so we'll see about that. But keep those 2 guys in mind. But Justin Jefferson's going to be my pick. My pick for Defensive Player of the Year is going to be one of the Bosa brothers, not Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa of the Los Angeles Chargers. Joey's in his age 27 season. He had over 10 sacks last year, and usually the concern with him is health, and he has missed games in the past. Not as many as people think, but he does have to stay on the field, of course. And now this guy has a very good defensive line playing alongside him. He has Khalil Mack, as I mentioned, and he has Sebastian Joseph Day. They still have Jerry Tillery. They have a very talented defensive line on that Chargers team now. Last year, Bosa was top 10 in the NFL in total pressures, and in QB hurries, he was tied for first place overall with Harold Landry. The Chargers should be playing up in most of these games. They should be high-scoring games. We know the Chargers can put up points, so if they go up early in these games and force teams to pass, it's going to create a positive game script for Joey Bosa and the Chargers defensive line to get more sacks. Of course, Aaron Donald could win this award any freaking year. It's like the voter fatigue thing once again, but I don't know. I just have a good feeling about Bosa. He's like the 6th or 7th best odds guy out there, so it's not like a guarantee, obviously, but I think the stars are aligning for Joey Bosa this year. I'll put it that way. My offensive rookie of the year is going to be Kenny Pickett of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I wanted to pick Chris Olave so badly, but I just couldn't do it. We know this award is going to favor a quarterback. We saw it with Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson. Not to say Herbert wasn't deserving of it, but still, it usually tends to go quarterback. And Pickett was the only first-round quarterback from this class, so he has a clear path to playing time, assuming that Mitch Trubisky doesn't light the world on fire, which I don't think he will. And Trubisky's on a 2-year deal, but the Steelers can easily get out of it after this year, so it could only be a 1-year deal pretty much. And with how good Pickett looked in the preseason, he should be playing sooner rather than later. So I would expect to see him sometime, maybe like after the first month or so, sometime in October. And Pickett's playing on a great team, great organization. The Steelers have been over 500 like forever, almost like 20 years at this point. So he has some playmakers with Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Najee Harris, Freiermuth, and Pickens. So if Pickett plays quarterback, wins games, he's accurate, can make some plays with his feet, I mean, he should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's unless like Chris Olave or even like Garrett Wilson, somebody like that, has an insane year receiving-wise, but running back-wise, I don't know about that. I mean, of course, there is the Dameon Pierce hype. Breece Hall is very talented, but I just think if Kenny Pickett starts over half the games and plays well, I think the award is his. My pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. It's a good story. The kid from Michigan went to Michigan, got drafted by the team in Detroit, Michigan. It just makes sense. But not only that, he's very, very good. I thought he had the highest floor in this draft. I think he's a very safe prospect, and he has a decently high ceiling too. And I feel like he might get some sympathy for not being the first overall pick from some voters, because it seemed like the entire draft process he was going to be the first overall guy, and then Trayvon Walker out of nowhere, just like the final week or so, was the first overall pick. But he has legit size, agility, strength, explosiveness, everything you'd want in a pass rusher. He's like 6'7", and I don't think Hutchinson has to have like a Micah Parsons level season. Like, not many rookies are going to do that. But if he has like 8 or more sacks and stops the run very well, has a decent PFF grade and stuff, I was tempted to go like Sauce Gardner or somebody like that, but I just couldn't do it. I think Aiden Hutchinson right now has the best shot at it. And I feel like with the Lions being very likable, Hard Knocks, Dan Campbell, that gives them a bit of a boost. And once again, going second overall and not first overall. So I will pick Aiden Hutchinson. My pick for Comeback Player of the Year is going to be Jameis Winston, quarterback of the Saints. Now, Jameis tore his ACL week 8 of last year, so like halfway through the season, and he was putting up good numbers. The Saints were 5-2. Jameis had a 14-3 touchdown to interception ratio, and he was looking really good in that offense. So the injury came at a bad time, and yes, there is no more Sean Payton. He retired, but they still have the same offensive coordinator who's been there forever, so I don't expect much changes to the offense, nothing big. And Jameis proved he can play in this controlled environment as compared to Tampa Bay with Bruce Arians. Like, Bruce Arians just completely took the training wheels off and said, just go out there and throw the ball as much as you can. But with the Saints, it's more of a structured environment, doesn't take as many chances. So if you put the training wheels back on the Jameis Winston, he could have a good year, and this Saints team is good. Any casual fan will look at Jameis Winston and go, oh, that's the guy who was taken first overall. He was a bust. He threw 30 interceptions that one year. But Jameis Winston, with the 30 interception thing on his reputation and coming off the torn ACL, playing for a good Saints team this year, I think Jameis Winston is in a prime opportunity to bounce back here. I think this Saints team can win 10-11 games. They can push the Buccaneers for first place in the NFC South. I don't know if they can win it, but it's possible. I think the Buccaneers, if they keep dealing with these injuries, and I don't know, something feels off about the Buccaneers right now, so I have no idea, but I could see the Saints winning this division if things do go right. And Jameis looked really good in the preseason. He had one drive, it was a touchdown drive. He was a perfect 4 for 4, had like 60-something yards, had a nice long throw to Olave and Jarvis Landry on some deep dig routes, so he looked good on that one drive. He looks healthy, so I definitely can see the case for like Saquon Barkley, who I like this year, Christian McCaffrey, of course, if he's healthy, and even Brian Robinson, who just unfortunately got shot. If he comes back halfway through the year and plays well, he's definitely a prime candidate. But if Jameis Winston plays well this year, has like somewhere around 30 touchdowns and like under 15 interceptions, and the Saints are like maybe first place or just like a 10 or 11 win team, then I think Jameis Winston can definitely win comeback player of the year. My pick for coach of the year is going to be Kevin O'Connell, rookie head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. So it kind of goes in conjunction with my Justin Jefferson pick. I think this team will have a really good offense this year, and they will put up points, and they could be a 10-plus win team, the Vikings. I don't know if they'll win the division with Aaron Rodgers still in here and the Packers with a very good roster, but they should be a 10-plus win team, get a wild card spot, and have a successful season overall. And I do think Kirk Cousins will have one of his best statistical seasons. He might have 40-plus passing touchdowns, and he will get a ton of praise for that, Kevin O'Connell. And this Sean McVay coaching tree has been pretty good so far. We've seen Matt LaFleur, we have seen Zach Taylor, even Brandon Staley with the Chargers showed some positive signs in his first year. But O'Connell definitely seems like a fun, energetic guy, definitely like a breath of fresh air as compared to Mike Zimmer. I just feel like this Vikings team will pick up steam at the right time. There will be some type of like coaching spotlight interview on Kevin O'Connell, and people will be like, oh, I really like that guy. Then like Kevin O'Connell will get a bunch of hype, and I think it'll lead him to be the coach of the year. Hopefully my guy Brian Daboll gets it, but I don't know if the Giants have the roster to do so. If he does, that'd be great, but obviously, the Vikings are in a better spot to win right now, and they have a much better offense. So if they get a wild card spot or even somehow win the NFC North, and O'Connell looks very good as a rookie head coach, and he can definitely be coach of the year. And lastly, my Super Bowl matchup prediction, I will tell you the winner. So I'm going to have the Bills versus the Packers. Of course, the Bills in the AFC, Packers in the NFC. I just think the Packers are very well-rounded. This might be their most well-rounded team in a long time. And I know losing Adams sucks, I completely get that, but they still have decent receivers. Let's not act like the Packers receiving core is complete garbage. They have Lazard, they have Randall Cobb still, Sammy Watkins still, however long he's healthy for, but Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, if those guys can come on in the second half and be consistent options for Rodgers in the passing game, they should be fine passing the ball. They have one of the best quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers. Running the ball, they might be one of the best teams in the NFL with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Bakhtiari's back at left tackle. I believe Elgton Jenkins, their other tackle, should be on track to play week 1 as well. They get Jair Alexander back at corner, who missed a lot of last year. Eric Stokes is in year 2 at corner across from him. Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary was one of the top 10 guys in Defensive Player of the Year voting, so, well, not voting, but like odds, so he might have a great year. Devondre Campbell's at linebacker, still coming off a very, very good year, and Quay Walker, who they just took in the first round at linebacker. So yeah, this Packers team is very well rounded, and like maybe they trade for a receiver at the deadline, maybe Odell Beckham or Will Fuller, one of those guys, goes to Green Bay as a late signing. I don't know, I feel like they'll get somebody if things don't work out. For the Buffalo Bills, it's got to happen at some point, right? Like they are too good of a roster to not make the Super Bowl. They were very close the past 2 years, especially last year. The coaching blunder to not kick the ball inbounds on the kickoff and giving Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill that 13 seconds to get in field goal range. That was just one of the worst coaching decisions I've ever seen. But still, they are very good on paper. They added Von Miller, Gregory Rousseau in year 2. They have Kyer Elam out of Florida, the corner, who I really like. Tre'Davious White, I don't know if he'll be ready for week 1, but they'll probably work him in slow. They'll be fine without him for now. You still have Hyde and Poyer at your safety spots, 2 very good players, as we know. And their offense, yes, they lost like Cole Beasley. I feel like they lost somebody else too, but their offense is still ridiculous. Gabriel Davis, it was Emmanuel Sanders they lost. So Emmanuel Sanders they lost, whatever. But Gabriel Davis now sees an expanded role. Stephon Diggs is one of the top 5, top 7 at worst receivers in football. Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in all of football. Like their time is coming. It feels like this has to be the year. Not has to be, but it feels like this could and should be the year for the Bills. So I'm picking the Bills-Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and my pick to win the whole thing is going to be the Buffalo Bills. And I love Rodgers. I hate saying he will lose another Super Bowl. I shouldn't say another because I don't think Rodgers ever lost a Super Bowl. He's just only been there one time. But you know what I mean. Like I do want to see Rodgers get another ring before he retires. But I think this Bills team is better all around. So I will give the Buffalo Bills my Super Bowl pick for the 2022/23 season. So that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, leave in the comments your predictions for this year. And we'll do the spread pick show tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And I'll talk to you guys next time.